aloha, and welcome to the Hawaiian Mission Houses, Historic Site and Archive. My name is Kaua'i, and I wanted to say mahalo nui for joining us tonight. I'm going to keep my part short. I'm actually going to hand off to our newest executive director, Dr. Neil Hitch.
Well, I was really hoping I wasn't going to have to speak tonight. Since this is the first Mele that I will be attending. It is also the first Mele of our series, and I hope that you will return and enjoy the rest of the series as well. We have a beautiful night. It's been wonderful being here this week to see how these are produced. The behind the scenes, I wish you could all come for that. The rehearsal today of the 4 musicians that are playing was one of the most magical things I've ever seen. And as they started coming in, I finally asked, have these guys have they played together before? And no, like they are learning to play together today so that we can see the magic that's going to be produced tonight. I think the arts, music, and eating together are what define humanity. And the earliest Homo sapiens, when are making art in cave walls in Lascaux, France, I'm sure they are singing a tune. It is the music that we don't see, but it is the one consistent thing through all cultures, through people that carry a tune in their head, that music is a part of what makes us human. And I think that the neatest thing to me about this series is getting to be introduced to this part of Hawaiian culture, especially this series that breaks it down island by island. And I think that's going to be an experience and a journey that we are going to get to have together that I think is going to make this year kind of an incredible series. Thank you for coming.
Mahalo. So tonight's evening is, we have some very talented musicians. They're all going to be introduced, including one of our very favorites, Uncle Aaron Mahi. He's going to be our MC tonight, so he'll be guiding us through the evening. Here he is.
Aloha mai kākou. Aloha mai nā uiwi Hawai'i, nā mākua, nā kupuna. Me nā ewe ho'okahi no ko kākou Hawai'i a pau, me nā kamaaina, me nā malihini. E huipi a mākou, malolo nei no ka aina aloha no ko kākou Hawai'i a pau. We welcome you. Aloha mai kākou. This starts, I think, the 6th year of programs that we've been sharing through the Hawaiian Mission Houses programming. And we want to thank you all for coming. I see so many familiar faces out there who have come over the years when we first started our journey. And Neil had said we're going to be on a journey, and that's how we started off. That Huaka'i na Hua Mele was the name of our series of programs. The journey of music and the development of music as it grew and as it developed from the relationships that we had from our Hawaii of the past. And then also, of course, the coming of the missionary families who many of you are descendants of, and that wonderful tradition of Western music that came upon the ears, and then later on made a large impact on the compositions of our ali'i and onto many of our people of Hawaii. And we've had a wonderful, wonderful experience in these last 5 years in developing that and sharing that cultural entity of our people of Hawaii. We continue now with Mele, and tonight we start a series of 4 performances which address the 4 islands, the 4 main islands of Hawaii. We start off, of course, north in the eastern area of Kaua'i, which includes ʻEhā. And then we will go on to, as you see in our program, island of Oahu, Maui, and then also end up with the island of Hawaii. And so tonight we start Kaua'i Mano Kalani Po. And the song that we begin, which is our theme song, Na Moku ʻEhā, the 4 islands, speaks so firmly of those attributes of which we remember our islands. And we think of its highest point. We think of not only its highest point from a geographical standpoint, the mountains which will be represented or spoken of in each of the verses that you'll hear tonight in our first rendering, but more importantly the ali'i which ruled. And these ali'i names which are given are names which are prominent through centuries and centuries of the wonderful works that they did during times of peace and times of much prosperity in the people. And so that's why we have Maui, who's Kama, we have Keawe for the island of Hawaii, Oahu Kakuhi Heva, and of course Mano Kalani Po for the island of Kaua'i. And also the blossoms which represent those islands. And for those who are Malihini coming for the first time, you'll see how proud each island is. We even wore the colors of the island of Kaua'i tonight, which is, yes, purple. It's also the favorite color of our Prince Kuhi o Kalaniana Ole. And so, whose birthday we're going to also celebrate this month of March 26th. So, let me take a little time to introduce our musicians tonight. On my right, we have Kapono. I guess he's the opio of the gang, yeah? He must be the opio. Yeah, Kapono Lopes hails from the island of Kaua'i, born there, and then somehow he was in the dry lands of Arizona, and then came back here and then graduated Kamehameha back in 2015. Aaron! Oh, golly, can it be 1915? That was my grandfather. He graduated from Kamehameha back then. But Henry Mahi. But anyway, so Kapono is such a wonderful musician. He's been playing the bass guitar tonight and sharing a little bit about himself and also the Mele, which he'll be sharing with us. Next to him is the eldest of the group. And like what Neil said, that's correct. I mean, he must be around 64 because that's how old I am. We both graduated the year of 71, but he's of course from Castle High School over there in Ko'olapoko area in Kaneohe. Yeah, so and he's a wonderful musician. Boy, I know was Aloha Deliri, and then all the wonderful times we spent over there with Sister, you know, and her halau and her hula work. So we're so happy. He's a wonderful guitarist of which you will be able to discover tonight in his music making. And of course, next to him is he's a staff member here at the Hawaii Mission Houses. You folks know Baron, yeah? You folks know him, yeah? Okay. Oh boy, I tell you, your boy is here, going for it. And we're gonna have the Kaholo Kula Ohana, his mother, Apua Mohala, is going to come and dance, and his sister, Leui, will also be joining us tonight in hula. And Baron, I know from his dad, Robbie, and way back, I think before these guys, other than Kekai, was born, I did a concert with the Honolulu Symphony. I had his grandpa, Jimmy Kaholokula, perform with, and his father and his uncles performed with the Honolulu Symphony. Even that's no longer around. Jesus Christ Almighty. Oh, I'm getting old. Anyway, Jesus. I tell you, they have to get a dinosaur to bring back here to talk about this stuff. Anyway, I had such a wonderful time with his papa. His papa's passed, but, you know, they came here from Kaua'i, Kapa'a side, and now over here in Honolulu, and sharing his tradition, his Kaua'i tradition with all of us. And so, with no further ado, as we say, I present to you Na Himeni, Na Po'i Himeni o Kaua'i Mano Kalani Po. I just gave them that name, you know, because we didn't have a name, you know, so we got to call him something, you know. so.
Le ka le hua, kua hiwi nani
Na Moku ʻEhā o Kapaki Pika, the 4 islands of Hawaii, and the wonderful mountains and those high places of which are in the song. Wonderful. Our next selection is one which written by a composer, Lizzie Alohikea, and Lizzie speaks so firmly of the beauty of Kaua'i, and of course the beauty of Kaua'i we say in Hawaiian, Nani Kaua'i, and we refer to the mountain that you just heard that they sang in that pauku which honored Kaua'i, that place, that beautiful place of Waialeale, and how each of the aspects from Nohili to Mapuana to if they do Namolokama, and how each of those places are so significant to bringing us closer in the relationship with the island. That's one thing about Kupa'aina. People that are Kupa'aina, what does that mean? Kupa'aina means you're from that land, born and raised. And when you're from that land, you see all the aspects of that land, a mountain, a stream, a river, a bay, the sands of that particular bay, and how you have a relationship with it. And the people of Kaua'i have this wonderful relationship of which Lizzie speaks about. And so we have, sister is here. Okay, we have Puamohala here to dance and to share in hula, and also that beautiful song, Nani Kaua'i. which is the mama of Brother Baron. Yeah. How nice. Oh. Oh, boy. Beautiful Kaua'i. Mahalo nui. When we speak of Kaua'i, other than the other place on the amongst the islands of Hawaii, where strong references to the hala are made, is first, I think, first and foremost, because I'm from Hawaii Island, but not from this particular Moku, which is the Moku of Puna. How many of you from Hawaii Island? Raise your hand. Okay, and you know Puna. What is Puna all about? You know, what is best remembered about Puna on the island of Hawaii? Sorry, kind of stealing from that next program. Okay, okay. What is so known about that area? The hala, paya ala. Oh, I thought it's like a wall of that scent that hits you in the face. Boom, like that, yeah? You know, and that's how in Puna, that's how it's treated. You know, that hala is so thick. And it's just so thick, and so it's like a wall, you know? But when we think about the Kaua'i hala, you know, the hala o naue. And naue is a nice sense word. I love that Hawaiian word because it kind of just gently moves you from here. Yeah? Yeah. Na hala o nau na o mapuana. E naue o e ika oni a kekei. Which is really the right word. Not only a kekei, but that's okay. You know. The boys are good, you know, they expose themselves. And when I was young, I used to do that and make the wrong word. Oh, wait, some other kupuna come in. They put in my head. They say, hey, what? So what Hawaiian you're not saying the right words. But that's okay. That's good. You know, our kupuna out there, I see them. And mahalo. We got to help us, our youngsters, along. I got help along too. And I'm sure when you folks were young, you were helped too. So this idea of nahala o naue is not so much the wall of the scent, but it's the way that scent guides you, you know. And this is all reference to Queen Emma, you know, that was her place for Ohana. And so we're going to share this song now. Let's see, I have Brother Kapono, Arizona. You're going to share with us Nahala o Naue. Nahalo Naue. We have a little announcement by our sister boy.
All right, so we're kind of easing into the beginning here, and I've already seen quite a few of you guys, especially with this song, act like you had a pu'ili. Now I know, unless you actually have a pu'ili with you, you are more than welcome to. But this is true kalikapila. This is not intended for everyone to just sit and watch and not fall asleep. If you are moved and you want to stand up and dance hula, I was told as a very young girl in my hello, every time that we ever go out and do something, if music sounds good, don't waste it. Please come up and dance. Have us hula, share a hula with us. And a gentle reminder to my musicians, tell us some stories as well, okay? Mahalo.
We had Kaua'i, pouring, flooding, ua from above for the past couple of days. Yes, the river flooded and the traffic stopped again because the police blocks the road right at the top of the hill as you're going down past the fire station, the makai, the police. They put a little block across the road. Every time they do that, that's because the road is in danger because of the high water. And it's amazing how much water. You're on the bridge crossing that first lane bridge. How many of you guys went over there? Everybody? Of course. You saw the sign that says local courtesy, 5 to 7 cars only. That means you go 5, 7 cars, you wait, the next guys go, and so forth. Of course, if you, how do you say that? If you don't do it, sometimes some of the people in the line that's waiting longer than they should throw stuff at your car nowadays. Happens in Wainiha too. You gotta cross that 2 bridges and now it's made out of aluminum. They throw stuff at your car sometime. They threw it at mine. So you should always stop. At any rate, we had a lot of rain and many, many places flooded. But I love the rain. Wekalani ola kahonua. Where else can we get life-giving water? And yes, we're not as bad as some spots like Kaua'i or something, or maybe Maui. But it's a good thing. Of course, some kauna of this particular song we're going to do, Kaua'i, the pouring, drenching rain, also speaks of lost love. But in this particular case, we're just sticking to the rain. It's been so much on our minds lately. Yesterday was the first day we had hot sun. I passed some tourist girls. They had sunburn. You can tell, well, they're all red, if that's sunburn. And I went, well, never mind what I went. Anyway, so we do this little song for you, one of my favorites, Kaua'i, the pouring, drenching rain of Hanalei.
always loved the songs of Alfred Alohikea. He played in a Hawaiian band, you know, a little bit before my time. I mean, many years before my time. But you know, he played saxophone, he played violin, and then when he retired after the band, and you know, he was one of those composers of the band that kind of like they were like all cohorts together with Johnny Wilson. You folks know Johnny Wilson, yeah? Who knows Johnny Wilson? Raise your hand. A few of you. Oh, okay, good. He was our mayor. But he was also impresario for the Hawaiian band when they used to go on trips and tours. And he and what do you call it? David Nape, Alohikea, and the other one was Mikia Kealakai. These are rascal boys, Hawaiian boys. Oh, and I heard some stories passed down to me through some of our kupuna. Some of the ohana tell me the stories, but oh, I tell you, it was wonderful to hear about Alfred Alohikea and his compositions and his love for, you know, these boys do a good job. And he liked that modern syncopation. You know, he was not the traditional 4/4, 2/4, 3/4. You know, it was too square for him. So he started to syncopate a lot of his songs, and you're gonna see in some other songs that we're gonna do this evening the changes that Alohikea, the impact that Alohikea had on our Hawaiian music, and others like Alvin Isaacs, Khalil Isaacs, and also Andy Cummings. You know, those musicians that were more of our time, and my time. You know, were impressed by his wonderful compositions. So we're gonna continue right now. But the next song we have is by a good brother of Mele Avaz, and you know, he was many years performed down Discovery Bay on the piano. He had hands like almost the hands like Chopin. You know, he could stretch almost a little over 3 octaves. You know, 2 octaves with one hand. He had big hands. This is you know, Robert Nelson. You folks remember him? Tall man. And he wrote this song of many songs. Maui, songs of Hawaii itself. He wrote songs of our princess, Kaiulani, even, which could be almost called close to a pageantry or opera. And this is probably his most famous song, next to the Maui Waltz, of course. And this is Hanalei Moon. And Brother Kapono, I think you're going to share this, yeah? Okay, Hanalei Moon. And then I think we also have a dancer. We're going to have Leiui. Leiui is here. Aloha, Lei. Okay. Everybody say hi, Lei. Hi, Lei. Okay.
When you see every wave will whisper.
was singing the lead over there, Brother Kapono. As I look at the list here, we have a whole slew of songs from Hano Hano Hanalei, Nā Molokama, the strong and vibrant waters of Nā Molokama. Hano Hano Hanalei, again, more specifically Hanalei. And then Lumahai. Oh, beautiful. And we're going to have our men sing these songs. Nā Molokama, what else can I say about the fact that if you know, there's a verse that we didn't sing tonight in that song, Nani Kaua'i. I nā paha oe, kei ke aku, I Kaua'i, a napa napa. Yeah, Nā Molokama, that area there. And how that water is so strong and so beautiful and powerful. You know, it's always used as a comparing in the poetry of our Hawaiian people. You know, the strong sense of passion, you know, the underlying passion. And so here's that song they go to Nā Molokama and continue with Lumahai. Hano Hano Hale.
Okay, we're gonna actually do Kaua'i o Nā Molokama. And they're definitely a beautiful thing that has been on Facebook a lot. So if you had connections on Kaua'i, then they probably showed you the thundering falls of Nā Molokama, the mist coming off. I mean, it was just fabulous because you had this heavy rain going on. It stops, the clouds lift, and this thundering waterfalls are all over that beautiful mountain. And I got some videos and put it on Facebook. And everybody else was putting it on too because it was just so beautiful. There's an excitement that happens when you see these kind of things in nature, you know. And I'm glad as I'm getting older now, I still appreciate that beauty that we have in the island. And so we do this next song, Kaua'i o Nā Molokama.
I like that line. ʻEhā o wau I laila. What does that mean? You and I, we're going to be over there. And what do we say? Who the power and the surging of that love between you and I? The waters of Nā Molokama. Woo! Hold back, Aaron. Stop it. Okay. Okay, let's continue now. Halo, halo, halale. Hey, you know, let's sing with them, you know. You folks know that song. Boy, I tell you, we'll have the audience sing with you. Go ahead, take them away. Kika, you got them.
Glorious is the beauty, yes, as we talked about already, of Hanalei. Many places are beautiful, but there's a special thing when you have those 4,000-foot average height cliffs semicircling the bay. Now, for those that don't know, for Kaua'i, Hana is bay. Here in most of the rest of the islands, Hono, like Honolulu, you know, Hono Kaua'i, Maui, and so forth. In Kaua'i, it's Hana, Hana Kapi'ai, and so forth. So we got beautiful bays, and so we do this song for the glorious beauty you find in Hanalei.
This next song is, how many of you have a chance, you know, when you take that Kalaniʻōleʻole highway over there, you go beyond the Hanalei, the road that goes into the valley. And if you keep on that maiden road along the ocean side there, and you come to that little, beautiful, small valley, or that ahupua of Lumahai. How many of you have been over there, Lumahai, yeah? Isn't that a wonderful place? I mean, it's like Hawaii maybe 100 years ago. You know, the kalo that they plant over there, and They keep the business of the poi and the various ho'io and all the wonderful things that, our ancestors grew. And I sit on the land commission, and we just did an approval for the expansion of the old lo'i kalo up further up in that valley. There's all nahele over there, all the weeds are over it. There's some trees, haulekoa all on top. But now they already cleared it up, and they're all functioning lo'i again. And this is a wonderful thing that's happening. And if you have a chance, you take that road. Instead of going into the valley of Hanalei, you go along the side, and you come to Lumahai. Lumahai is special in so many ways. It's like Hanalei, that famous limu ya manua kepa, that special seaweed from over there. And then also references to the sacredness of the area, the mythology of Lohia, where he resided with his pahu, and of course being fetched by Hi'iaka to take back to Pele. And you know what happened in that story. Anyway, but let's listen to this song, Lumahai, again by Alohikia.
Hano hano, hanalei kuanui, he pakika, ikalingo manua kepa, au au, hanalei kuanui, he pakika, ikalingo manua kepa.
Hepakika. What does that word mean, hepakika? Slip and slide, So when you walk over there in the Kaua'i, and the limu, it's long, the way the limu goes. And you watch on the rock. You can slip and slide, you can fall down. Haule. You gotta watch out. And that's why everyone there, when they cross the street, when they go for the opu over there in Kaua'i, you gotta watch. Watch out, you're gonna fall down because of that manua kepa limu over there. Oh, but I just had to add that little story in there. You know, this next song we're going to do, every time I hear this song, I can't help but think of Brother Kaua'i. And, you know, we got to meet each other when we were doing promotion for, he was with Hawaiian airline, and a bunch of us, Dennis Kamakahi, myself, Danny Akaka, we were the youngsters, like these young men, with exception of Kekai. Where, you know, we all at, once in a while we would meet together in Japan, or we meet in Houston, Texas, or we meet up in Boston, Massachusetts. I don't know. We're oh, Kaua'i. Oh, Uncle Kaua'i's over here. We're going to be with us. So, we know what song he's going to do, yeah? Beautiful Kaua'i. You know that? Pretty much, you know the song, how he sang them? Well, we're going to have Le'u'i up. And in fond memory of our brother, Kaua'i Kaket. I'm just sorry I'm going to make this dedication anyway. We're going to do Beautiful Kaua'i.
There's an island across the sea, beautiful Kaua'i, beautiful Kaua'i, and she's calling, calling to me. Beautiful Kaua'i, beautiful Kaua'i. In the midst of Envato, Mother Nature makes her home, and the falls of Wailua, where lovers often roam, I'll return to my isle across the sea. Beautiful Kaua'i, beautiful Kaua'i. In the midst of Mama Kualono, Haumea makes her home, and the falls of Wailua, where lovers often roam, I'll return to my isle across the sea, to beautiful Kaua'i, beautiful Kaua'i, hey nani no Kaua'i, beautiful
Mahalo, mahalo so much. Here's Kekai. You going to tell us a story?
Oh, the hula. Oh, we're gonna do that. Oh. Okay.
I
guess-
made
oh,
it to
okay.
rehearsal late, so I didn't get this part of that story. Sorry. But you know the story of the ship, yeah? The Maki, yeah? How it got stuck on the reef.
No,
right
no,
in
we're gonna
Kaua'i.
do this one first.
Oh.
We forgot that we were gonna
Oh.
add it in,
Oh.
and
Erase.
this is because we're gonna do Beautiful Kaua'i in my arrangement, simply because one of the other local brothers, musicians, Solomon Ka'ava, released a CD back in the mid-90s, and he did Beautiful Kaua'i. So I thought about it and I went, yeah, that's the traditional, Randy Farden, famous family, but good if you got dancers. But what if you don't have a dancer? Then let's do a different version. So we I changed it a bit, added a few more chords. It's still the same though, but just a nice beat. You can imagine congas going, Hammond B3, drums, and stuff like that. So we do a quick version of this other arrangement that I made for beautiful Kaua'i. Indeed. There's an island across the sea, beautiful Kaua'i, beautiful Kaua'i, and she's calling to me. Beautiful Kaua'i, beautiful Kaua'i. But in the midst of Fern Grotto, Mother Nature makes her home, and the falls of Waiua, where lovers often roam, I'll return to my isle across that sea. Beautiful Kaua'i, beautiful Kaua'i, Hinamino Kaua'i, beautiful Kaua'i. Our island home, rainbows in the skies, waterfalls in the mountains, waves crash to the shoreline. That's our paradise found. Kaua'i, our island home.
Mahalo, hey. Good. That's definitely something out of the 90s. Will you just say? I was gonna add to your comment, brother. You don't need the hula dance. You thought everybody get up and start doing cha-cha-cha. You know, they go like this. The whole crowd is dancing in the theater. Right on, brother. Mahalo. Boy, that's my time, but I do try to remember that too much. I don't know. I love the old time stuff. So, we're back on the reef. Stuck. Back on the reef, stuck. Our ship is stuck on this papa. If you imagine this is the papa over here. And that's aqua. You know, that's aqua. It's a stone from the coral reef. And that boat got stuck, and what happened? Imua a hope, Kikulanene. That Robert, what was his name? Lopaka tried to lift up that boat on the high tide. You first know I'm talking about the song they're going to sing, right? How that ship, the Maki, got stuck up there, Kapa'a. Take it away. I think we have a hula. No hula. Is it hula? Only hula. Okay.
Got stuck in Kaua'i.
So you're going to do one cha-cha-cha rhythm and everybody going to step and dance to Maki Island. Okay. Enjoy it. Hula o Maki.
Ui, po'ai. Hikinoe hula. Nice one. Applause
Nana.
for gonna enlist her.
Nana, e hula hula me.
many stories, yes, and things about, yes, indeed, the Marquis, James Marquis. I was surprised to find out he did not only, well, he had the boat called the Marquis, he also had a little sugar plantation in Kealia. Then, of course, he had Maki Ailana. He was good drinking buddies, of course, with Kaua'i and gambling. He almost won Molokini, we understand. And I always wondered, where is the connection to Ulupalakua Ranch? When I went there last week, Kumu Aloha Dillery, in one of the little outside hallway, there were all these plaques and information, and I went, oh my God, James Marquis started Ulupalakua Ranch, as far as I remember. Yes, Auntie? Oh, okay. And so he had a lot of songs written and did a lot of things, but he had the right connections. So anyway, quite an amazing man. So we're gonna do this song for Po'ai dancing, Hula o Maki. Oh hey I hone la o Maki akamalu lani ae e huli helene. Oh hey I hone la o Maki akamalu lani ae e huli helene. Aia o Maki, kahi I ka paa, ka waiho ka pakai, I ka apapa. Aia o Maki, kahi I ka paa, ka waiho ka pakai, I ka apapa. Kumai hai ilama apa I ta hoe I mua a I hope ke kulana Tumai hai ilama apa I ta hoe I mua a I hope ke kulana mai ana ka puana o heia I hone la o Maki haina ia mai ana ka puana o heia I hone la o Maki. I thought you said you can go fastest.
Yeah, we're on the high tide this way. The water is rushing. Oh boy. Mahalo. Another round of applause for I for rendering that hula. Mahalo for I. Oh, I tell you, the Lincoln family, they give right on. Oh. We're going to end our first half this evening with this next very familiar Kaua'i Mele. And again, one of those songs that celebrates the beauty of Kaua'i. And more in particular Mount Waialeale, the flowers that bloom there within its gulches and crevices, and the scent of laua'i, and the various sense of the strong and powerful waters of Namorokama. We Napali, you know, how those waters the brother had shared about earlier. And so we share with that song, beautiful, Wai Ale Ale, Namnik Wai ale ale.
All right, this is one of my favorite Kaua'i songs to do, so if you know the words, sing along.
Again, a round of applause for her. I could change the name. Nahwa'o. Nahwa'o. Of this wonderful island of Kaua'i. Mahalo nui. We're going to take a short break right now. Not too short. What time now? 15 minutes. So if you get a chance to take care of what ho'opau or you want to go and eat a little bit, rest a little. I may need a little chance to take a break. We'll come back here. When you hear the music start, come back to your seat. Mahalo nui. Okay.
All right, so mahalo nui. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We're going to commence with the second half here. It really is a night of karikapila, so it's not very formal, and I'm going to remind you guys again, if you feel like standing up and dancing, as I showed, you can dance in the shadows, but at least let the musicians know that you're dancing. So you don't have to come all the way up onto the paw unless you want to, but you will be very welcome here. Mahalo nui to our very talented musicians of Kaua'i. I gotta say, when I said I was gonna be really making sure the musicians are of Kaua'i, that all of the songs are of Kaua'i, because it's gonna be the same for the rest. The next group, the next one that we have, is going to be in May, and that is Mele Oahu. That's gonna be featuring Ocean Kawili and Nina Kelly Iwahamana. Oh yeah. And maybe a couple other people. If anyone knows Auntie Goofy out there, she might actually be on this stage as well. It's going to be a really magical evening, like all of these mele, because what it's all about, you guys, is sharing music. It's so much more than just sitting and having a concert happen at you. Regardless of the nice lights, because this is for posterity's sake, mahalo to our television crew for being here. Mahalo, you guys. For our Olalo TV, it's really wonderful. Mahalo nui. But that doesn't mean that this is a stage that this is not a line that you cannot cross. You may join. It is a kanikapila. It is for people to be involved. If these are songs you recognize, sing along to it. That's what this is all about. And we are going to be sharing some more stories of the childhoods of the, I'm making up words now, awesome. Of the keiki times, the hanabara times, there we go, that's the one. Hanabara times of all of the men on this stage right now. They're going to be telling stories. Because really, I was seeking many, many musicians out of Kaua'i. And apparently, this is when everything happens. March is a very busy month. We have this little thing called Merry Monarch coming up, and everyone's really busy with that right now. And Kaua'i, just a note about the majesty of what's happening on Kaua'i. They have like 15 different events happening this weekend, which most of the Kaua'i musicians are out there for. So I had to steal the Kaua'i musicians that we have now. So mahalo nui, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And mahalo nui to Kaua'i. I'm a Hawaii Island girl, and I love my home, but if I can't be on Hawaii, Kaua'i is magic. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. And hands off to Uncle Aaron and to the men up here who are going to tell you some lovely stories and sing some lovely songs. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo poi. We spent a lot of time, our first part of tonight's ho'ike sharing our mele. And on the east and north side of the island of Kaua'i. And as I look over the program, the list, now I think we're gonna head a little more towards the west and south part of the island. Talk about Nauiliwili, the famous sands of Nauiliwili. And then we're also gonna be talking about Haupu. You know, Haupu is that, you know, when you're going down to the southwest side of the island, it's that mountain that just juts up over there, and the sacredness of Haupu. And then hopefully we'll get to over the Kekaha side, which is the far west of the area which we say in the old Hawaiian way, pikai ika velo lehua. The song that we start off first with in the second half is sometimes we don't realize that when an ali'i becomes so famous, his name and the island name are one. And so many of the writers of early Hawaii, in their newspaper articles, when they're talking about the island of Kaua'i, go ahead and state Mano Kalanipo. Mano Kalanipo. And in this case, the mele we're going to hear now is actually speaking of his realm, because of his wonderful just rule of that island, and all based on the amount of prosperity that was shared and developed on that island of Kaua'i. His name is synonymous with Kaua'i. And so we open up with the mele by the Zura, one of the Zura Meister Ohana Emily, and this wonderful song speaking of the island of Kaua'i through the name of Mano Kalanipo.
Moni he alo Kaua'i, kamoli kaulana o makana, hilohi I kanani, oi ale ale. Come on, o kalanipo. Moni he alo Kaua'i, kamoli kaulana o makana, hilohi I kanani, oi ale ale. Come on, o kalanipo. Hohi kamana o ke ike aku
Mele by Emily's Lemeister, Mano Kalanipo. Now we speak of that harbor over there on Kaua'i when you're just coming out of Lihue and you're heading down into that bay of Nauili, and how important Nauili is, of course, for the not only the fact that it's a harbor, but it has that special place where many of the streams, they come down from the area of Lihue and they join, and many of the taro lo'i are located there. And George Huddy, I'm not sure if you folks knew him. I had a chance to, he was coaching us when I was kind of like starting off in Hawaiian music, and wrote many songs that are attributed to Kaua'i. And Uncle George would come and talk about his mele, give us advice on some of the texts or words that he used and the meaning. And so we're going to sing his song right now, that Now Really by Uncle George.
So I'll talk a little bit about Nauili. My family, the Holt and the Kaua'i family. Well, the Holts first, they lived in Hanalei, and they had a house up on the beach over there. And they traded it for a lease in Abilivili for, I think, around 30 years. And so they lost the house in Hanalei, and they came to Abilivili because it was close to Lihue, which is the bay that has all the incoming ships and all the jobs and stuff like that. So, so I remember hearing a story. Our Omakua resides there. It's a big shark. And so one of my my tutu's auntie should go in the bay and would kahea the mano, and the mano would bring all kinds of fish, and she had a mu'umu on, and that was all she had on. So she'd go in the water, and the fish would bring, the shark would bring in the fish, and she would lift up her mu'umu, and nothing else was, so it was just, yeah, kind of heavy, but interesting. But it was those kind of, they spent a lot of their time in Avilivili, and then they finally went to Kekaha, because my great-grandpa, the Kaua'i side, had a plantation job over there. So they all went to Kekaha. So my mom is from Waimea, and my dad is from Lihue. And so anyways, Uncle's gonna sing the song. Navili. Hit it.
Well, one thing I'm gonna add is, I'm very glad that he's an advocate, as I am, as we are, of the word lihue. Not lihui, not lehui. You hear it on the radio and everybody, and they say it, and we're going, oh, that's so wrong. I is E, E is E, right? Hawaii. Wait, this computer just went on. It's advising me. But it was actually known, I believe, as New Malu. And after Kamehameha sent the first governor to the island, he came from Oahu here, I believe Wailua district, I've forgotten his name, but when he came to Kaua'i and got to that spot, it was cold and wet, and he went, oh! And he got goosebumps, and he said, oh, lihue, lihue. And so the name stuck, and it changed from Yumalu to Lihue. Okay, so anyway, even though we advocate for the proper enunciation, it's hard because my wife doesn't listen to me. So anyway, about this place, of course, the whole area was also filled with wili, which are an endemic tree to the islands. White gray, it grew about 30 feet or so. Seeds were used to make beautiful lei, wili lei. You could use the wood because it's light and buoyant for fishnet floaters, the ama for canoes, and 1 or 2 man canoes too. But because it's not a hardwood, if the waves rose, 2.5, 3 foot, and you were riding the canoe and it piholo, it took a dive and hit the sand, it might break. So they would, I understand, beach them or use them only in the inland streams and rivers up there. But one of the most important things about the Wili Wili, of course, it was about 10 years now, some rotten person brought over the, it's Wili Wili, Erythrina sanguinicis, scientific name. And that means, of course, when they brought this pest, the Erythrina gall wasp out of Africa, it spread like wildfire over the island. They bore into the tree, and then we noticed as time went on, the leaves are standing out there in the sun, and they're crinkling and closing up. They cannot create their food, the chlorophyll, and all that stuff. And so they were basically starving and dying. Of course, you know, scientists try to find a cure, and other scientists went to Africa looking for a natural predator against that gall wasp, and no luck. That would not do worse, and it was not found. So you walk by the trees and you lean on them, and all of a sudden the whole tree just goes ka-ching. So they had to cut the trees. A few trees did survive. The scientists down at the National Botanic Gardens found that a vitamin booster shot given to the tree 4 times a year would make it survive. Cost of the shot, each shot about $1,600. You know what the state said. Haha. So they saved seeds, and hopefully if the gall wasp disappears, they'll repropagate and we might have our Wili Wili back. The most important thing as we grew up, fishing, laying nets, night diving, and doing all the rest was pua ka Wili Wili nahu kamano. This ancient bit of knowledge I took to heart because the old folks knew what they were talking about. When the Wili Wili blooms, the sharks bite. They're coming in closer to shore to give birth, so stay away. Nobody listens to those old advices now, and we cannot tell when they're blooming because they don't exist. Anyway, that's the other part of the heavy story about our Wili Wili. But I love this place, and okay, boy, I won't mention the other part. So anyway, we do the song called Na Wili Wili. Kaulana maine, aona wili wili, he nangino o he amini, he beauty maulino. Kaulana maine, aona wili wili,
hoʻohihi ka mana'o a ʻoe Kaua'i. E o mai ko aloha ke kani a o pilani. Haina ia mai ana ka puana kauna mai nei o na wiliwili he gorgeous Maori no. Haina ia mai ana ka puana kauna mai nei o na wiliwili he nasi Maori no. I'll see you there quickly.
Mahalo, mahalo. Ke kai, that wonderful rendering of Now Willy Willy. The next selection we have, if there's anyone that I always think about, one of the old time musicians, and there is Andy Cummings. Andy was a very prolific musician, composer, and kind of ahead of his time, because when he was sharing his music, he really had a whole series of these short 15-minute television shows where he played his Hawaiian music and did it for as a promotion for some business in Honolulu at that time. And Andy is from Kaua'i, and would oftentimes talk about Alohikea and talk about those musicians of which when he was young he had opportunity to meet and to be with and to hear them sing and talk about their music. Another one from Kaua'i that was a real good friend of his was Ralph Alapa'i. I'm not sure if you know that name. They all passed already, but Uncle Ralph too is also Alapa'i from the island of Kaua'i, and would oftentimes share those wonderful phrases just like about the puili here, and then watching out for when the pua that really starts to bloom, that nagika ika mano, that shark will bite you, anyway, bite at things. But those kinds of things, they would share these kupuna with us, and I just think of him when they're gonna share this song today, tonight. So Kaua'i Beauty. Mohala in beautiful hula, and our brother Kapono in voice, and the words by Henry Waia'u. You know, these words are so beautiful. I would take the time, but if you have a chance, you know, look up this song, Beauty, Kaua'i Beauty, and try and get the translation. It's so wonderful. As I'm sitting here listening to it and reading it in Hawaiian, but then think of it in terms of its meaning in our Olelo Hawaii in English. Our next mele. Who's gonna sing our next mele? Oh wait, Keke Hoi. Oh, they're gonna switch, guys. I got one. Try it. We're going to do something. I tell you. You know what? I never have my. He's gonna dance. I was having so much fun talking to everybody that was visiting me. I didn't have a chance to eat my food, so my brain is a little kind of lohe ia, you know, kind of slow. So anyway, this song Kipukai. Of course, it's on the other side of, you know, that western side when you come around Haupu, you take that road up, and you gotta come through that just over that pass, and you look down there, the beautiful Kipukai. Oh, what a wonderful place! You know, that was a Waterhouse estate, yeah, Johnny Waterhouse, and who would always talk story with us was the musician Bill Ka'iwa. You know, he worked on that ranch land over there. And then, of course, the story goes where Maddie Lamb, through the invitation of John Waterhouse, and then also Kavena Pukui, she was a guest there and said, "Hey, we gotta go over there." And she was so filled with aloha for that beautiful place there, Kipukai. I won't go into trying to explain Kipukai. But the kipu is, you know, when you have a pass, an opening into like a little corral, you know, that entrance go through. You know, so we saw, they call that the kipu. And then you go through, and then you have those ocean has all those little bays over there, 3 bays, and each have a significance. So they would, you know, when Kavena was there, she was so moved, she started to write poetry. You know, write some verses describing the local maikai of John Waterhouse. Also the beauty of that area, the peacocks as they strut around and being in the shade of the kiawe tree, and just so much of the beauty that she started, you know, writing these verses. And she wrote it in the guest book, from what I hear the story. And then if somebody of our kupuna out there know the story, you know, she just wrote it in the guest book, you know, of his hale. And then Maddie Lamb came up with a melody. So when we're talking about inviting people to come in hula, I asked some good friends out there, "Hey, you know Kipukai?" And she said, "Yeah." And then, so I'm going to call upon one of the descendants of the Thurston family, Asa Thurston, and also, you know, Lord Andrews, who wrote one of the first Hawaiian dictionaries, and he was a missionary here. This is a descendant. Lucy, you want to come up and dance? And if Kilmai can dance that, she come too. Oh, hila. Yeah. Peha Kilmai, I'll hiki ke hula hula. Kilmai lani. Yeah. Okay, I heard the laugh come from the husband in the back. I'll wait. He said, "You gotta get my wife out there to dance." But she will share. Kipukai. Yeah. 2 times.
Kipukai ke alo, home I ka pili ka haka, I laila I ka nui loko mai kai. No kipukai ke aloha, home I ka pili ka haka, I laila I ke ai, I ka nui loko mai kai. ko'u ho'ohi I kanani au hauku Mamahi e ina Hano hano ke I ke aku Nanea Nanea I ka ho'olohe I ka hundulu mai a ke kai Kanala mai a loa mai ana I ka au kua honu Nanea I ka ho'olohe I ka hulu mai o ke kai Kanala ui e holu ana I ka lai au kua honu Make make wale ka I kena Ina mana pi ka kena ni I ka kai e ha'ahena I ka mana o ke kiawe Make make wale ka I kena Ina mana pi ka kena ni I ka kai e ha'ahena I ka mana o ke kiawe Tuana ia me ke aloha No kanani ao haupu Me ke aka loka mai Ka haku ao ki pukai Tuana ia me ke aloha No kanani ao haupu Me ke aka loka mai Ka haku ao ki pukai
Mahalo, Lucy. Mahalo, Lucy. Mahalo, kapon. Yeah. Yeah. That's so nice. Kipukai. You folks remember Bill, Bill Kaiva? How many remember Uncle Bill Kaiva? Yeah, he worked on that ranch over there. I had a chance to work with him. You know, he did a whole collection of Mele. Some of the old time Mele by one of the old time composers of which Jack Waterhouse, you know, he was close to them, so he would write they write all the words down, and of course Jack would remember the melodies, and did a project. And Bill Kaiwa, before he passed away, was working on those Mele. Wonderful. Mahalo. Another round of applause for Lucy. Mahalo for coming up and dancing.
I had a great visit when I was younger. I had all the hair, and I played guitar a little while for Bill Kaiwa too. So one day we flew into Kaua'i, Kalani Po'omaiheolani, and Bill and a couple of girls, hula girls, and then myself, and we went. I had no idea where we were going, and they drove all the way into no place. Open, you know, it was pretty darn empty, and then you come into this beautiful bunch of tall pine trees, and it's kind of like encircling this building way up there. So they went up there, and it's like a kind of like a log cabin, except nice koa made out of. And I'm going, wow, you can make plenty guitar and ukulele. But and I was just hanging out in the back, and then I didn't know at the time, but Jack Waterhouse came out, and Bill went to go talk to him and stuff like that. And my goodness, he just went all the Hawaiian, and I'm going, oh my God, he's white and he's fluent. Shocking for a young age. That was like 76, I think, 77. But yeah, beautiful place. Never forgot it. Okay, that's Kipukai too.
Hey, mahalo, mahalo, Kikai. Our next selection, we're going to do a little moving ahead. Our next selection is going to feature the music of Dennis Kamakai. Is that the Koke? You know, Dennis was with the Sons of Hawaii, and they were, at the start, if I understand, one night the four of them did a concert in Koloa. Then they went in the west side, Kekaha side, Waimea, and then they went up to one of the cabins up in Koke'e. How many of you have been in those cabins up there in Koke'e? Oh, it's cold, yeah, up there. Boy, it's real cold. So they started to try to make a fire, and they didn't know about the flume. What is the flume? Because, you know, we didn't grow up with the chimney, yeah? I mean, our Santa Claus came in a canoe. He didn't come down the chimney. So anyway, I think it was, what's his name? Joe Marshall, the bass player. They started the fire, and the smoke kept on coming back into the cabin, and they all ran out of the cabin, you know, with the noxious smoke of that fire not starting. Then I guess somebody, I don't know if it was Feats, he went underneath the steel guitar player and said, "Hey, brother, you got to go lift this metal up." And then, of course, the fire got the oxygen, and then they were warm the rest of that evening. But out of all of that came this song, Koke'e, you know, the I win, and you know, their trip to Koloa, and how much he loves that area of Koke'e, and coming up by Mea. We have one of our kupuna is visiting here, Auntie, from Waimea, Kaua'i. Mahalo for joining us. I won't put in your name, but mahalo nui for coming. Everybody, give us applause for Auntie, who comes from Kaua'i and from Waimea specifically. Yeah. So, Himeni.
Come on up, Auntie. Come join us on stage.
This is my good friend. You know this girl? She's 20 years older than me, and I'm 64. And she's the class of 51. I'm the class of 71. And this girl, boy, she ran all over the United States, all over Canada. And I try to call you, and I tell you. But anyway, this Auntie Noelani Mahoi. Everyone applause Auntie. Yeah, okay. Auntie was the director of that famous group called Leo Nahe Nahe. So, Auntie, you want to share some words? Are you going to dance?
All I wanted to say was, I was raised in Koke'e, and the Waimea Canyon was our playground. As a child, we used to play around there. And then later on, I went back as an adult, and one of my cousins had a boat. And we, from Hanalei, we went along the coastline around Koke'e, that side. Then we stopped, and at this one place, we got out of the boat, and clothes and all, we swam to shore because we wanted to go see where, at one time, there was a leper that lived there. And so we went to his house. And, you know, it was so exciting to actually be able to swim there and go there and see the place. And then we finished going all around Kaua'i on this car. So, as I said, I'm a Kaua'i girl, and I'm going to dance Koke'e.
Mahalo. Auntie Noelani Mahoi. You come here. Auntie Noe maho. Mahalo, Noe lami. You know what she said, huh? I do it faster.
Well, in that case.
I tell you, these 52 grads, I tell you,
Oh, now they're finding out how they're related.
now they're doing they're going down the Moku au. They're getting the relationship.
Oh. Oh yeah, we know plenty on the whole there.
We're related.
Ezra.
One more hand applause, Auntie. Our next mele is Mana. Oh, yeah.
O Kalamai,
Kalamai.
my baby.
Oh, your baby, ngalamalama. Oh, yan. Oh, yan.
Yeah, Hoi.
Aloha. Mana opini. Yeah. They gave me their.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a new song. I don't know this song, Mana Opili. I understand what it means, but somebody want to talk about this mele, Mana Opili.
I like this song. It's a great song.
Barry made sure this song was on the list because it's one of his favorites to sing.
Yes, but I'm not singing it tonight. So we're going to give it to the young blood here. Kapono's going to take it from us.
Aloha e Kaua'i, kaulana kaumuali. He imi nei a oe, ala kulei. Aloha e Kaua'i, kaulana kaumuali. He imi nei a oe, ala kulei. Iau me hana, aia aina nui aloha. I olu au, eia e koloa. Uniau me hana, aia aina nui aloha. E olu au, eia e koloa. Kanani o Kaua'i, pili ko upu'a. Ua mau mani hau, no Hawaiian oa. Eia nei oia, ka inoa o miloli. Ka po'e Kaua'i, ho aloha nui. Haina miama, nana kapuana. Aloha e Kaua'i, kalana ko inoa. Haina ia mai, ana kapuana. Aloha e Kaua'i, kalana ko inoa. Aloha e Kaua'i, kalana ko inoa.
Mahalo kapono. Meaning of Mana Opili. Oh. You folks know what Mana Opili means, right? Pili means to cling, to hold close. Huh? And so this thought, I can't get it out of my mind. So there's the thought resides in your thinking, and I cannot stop but think about Kaua'i, and this time also Kaumuali'i. You know, Kaua'i was also another of the famous rulers of Kaua'i, a descendant of Mano Kalanipo. After that, Humehume, yeah, his son. Another one of those kings that sought peace and prosperity for Kaua'i. So, next Mele. Next Mele, I think, is going to be Maika'i no Kaua'i, yeah?
It is. We're gonna take it back to our island song. We're gonna do for you very rarely. Does anyone ever sing all of the verses to this song? So we're gonna try. And when I mean we're gonna try, I mean we're gonna try. So here we go. Maikai no Kaua'i, he malele kamali e, kua iwi vai ale ale, leo nei ka moki ana. One more time, Maikai. Maikai no Kaua'i, he malele kamali e, kua iwi vai ale ale, leo nei ka moki ana. Hano hano wale o hanale, I kaua nui o ʻEhā iwi, I Kaua'i o ina kolo, I ka mea na no kama. Maika'i no Kaua'i, he malele I ka mani e, kua iwi vai ale ale, lea nei ka moki ana. Ua ni wale o lihu e, I kaua paku, I hawe, I vai hui hui ano, vai o ke mamo. Maika'i no Kaua'i, he malele I ka mani e, kua iwi vai ale ale, lea nei ka moki ana. Haulana wale o Waimea, I kalani kai o Nahi, I ka wai una I ahi, ai vai na malihini. Maika'i wale. Maika'i wale no Kaua'i, he malele wale I ka mali e, kua iwi nani wai ale ale, lea nei ka moki ana. Maika'i no Kaua'i, he malele I ka mali e, kua iwi vai ale ale, lea nei ka moki ana.
Oh, now we have Mele Ohana. This is Baron's family, yeah, Kaholokula. This is a song about the Olena. And, I always knew about Olena from the root side, but I never knew it from the blossom side. You folks know Olena, yeah? People how the Olena looks. It's like a ginger plant, yeah? And the root even looks like ginger. And Hawaiians, we always saw that in our ancient practice as a healing, a plant for, medicinal purpose we use it. And also in the sacred ceremony, we use the olena because of the fact that because it is a low lapa'o, it cleanses and cleans, and it's good for inflammation. It's also good to be eaten in curry. Indian curry, Japanese curry. And I love turkey tail curry. Okay. But it's turmeric. It's turmeric, yeah. So Uncle Jimmy Kaolokua Kula wrote this song, and when his boys recorded it, this is of course Baron's dad. It really was popular, Pua Olena. And if you look at it, it looks almost like a kahili, that flower, it's all these little blossoms that are on this kind of like this stem. So
I could tell the story about the song.
tell how he wrote it, yeah.
Yeah. So a story goes that my grandfather was home one day and he was out in the yard, and one of his really good family friends, Mr. Jack Pike, came over to the house. He said, "Hey, Jimmy, you gotta you know this flower, the olena? My grandpa goes, yeah, I have it right here. He goes, you should write a song about this flower. My grandpa kind of looked at him like, okay. He goes, no, really, no one's written a song about this flower. I think you should write a song. So my grandfather went with Uncle Jack out to Hanalei. One of their friends was working DLNR, Mr. Dowley. They were out on the North Shore, and they just kind of observed how it grew, that it was a flower that likes to hide underneath its leaf. So in order to find this flower, you have to kind of move the leaf, and it only actually blossoms particularly one time a year, and it really only blossoms when it feels like blossoming. So some years you might not have. I have an olena at my house, and it hasn't blossomed in like 2 years.
You have to water it.
I also live in downtown, so it's kind of like, oh no, plant. So my grandfather went home, and honestly, he sat down and wrote the song. He goes, this song is not going to be a hit. So my father went to my grandfather and said, well, if you don't like this song, then why don't you let me sing it? Because my father was never featured as the lead singer on a track, and this was already their third album. My grandfather kind of looked at my dad. He said, okay, well, we'll give you a shot. Here you go. Here's your song. So my father recorded it, and lo and behold, it's the song that defines our ohana. So,
And it launched a few careers in Hawaiian music. Yes, many.
so I'm going to actually call up my mom, Kumuhula Pua Mohala Kaholukula. She's going to come up and dance with us to Pua Olena.
Pua olena, pua moe vai, I kana hele moe nei. Kaua noe, makali'i e ala mai. Hoi ke mai I honani, pua olena, pua olena. Pua olena, dream and beauty of my garden deepest slumber. Kiss my misty summer rain. Come with me, come let's see all your beauty. Pua olena, pua olena.
and his mom.
Mahalo. Mahalo.
You did a good job with him.
Mahalo. Mahalo, Dan.
Now, I have a little thing too, and I don't know if my brother is still out there. Bully, are you here? When this song came out, and I had been studying some of the Olohe, the Lua people, as Kaua'i was supposedly quite well known for the best fighters in the Lua arts. They were actually even called here to Oahu somewhere in the 1500s because they needed help against Nukuhivan people that settled in the north side, as I understand. And when they settled there, people started disappearing. And sure enough, the chief ended up finally visiting, as I understand. And they did the protocols and the proper things and sat him down for a meal. And he ate the food and he went, "Oh, I like this pig." Wasn't big. And so, yes, they were a little cannibalistic people. But so the under chiefs came to Kaua'i and asked for help. And I understand they sent a number of the Olohe Lua fighters over there to help get rid of that problem, which they did. And at any rate, so as I studied this and I was listening to the song going, Olena, Olohe, hidden, because those guys kind of disappeared from sight again. Sight. And so I asked my brother's wife, Helene, is there a connection? Because she said she was connected with Koholokula, family-wise and stuff. And I said, "Oh, can you go ask Uncle Jimmy?" And she did, and came back with the answer to me, simply, no connection. So it is exactly as the song says about the flower that's hidden underneath the leaf, beautiful and all that, not about the Olohe or Lua people that also were in Kaua'i. So anyway, that was my little story, and I just wanted to say it because Helene was here and I have not seen brother or my sister for many years.
I just wanted to add a little bit more to the Pua Olena story, since it is a family recognized song for us. As a student of hula, I graduated as a kumu in 1979. The song actually came out in 1978. The album was released, and I was working at a store at the time, and I heard this song over, the muzak, they call it back then. And I thought, oh, that's such a beautiful song. Never thought, lo and behold, a year later, I'd meet my husband, and that particular song became the song that I graduated as a kumu. So it was like, oh my goodness. And it wasn't until many years later that we actually got married. We were together for 8 years before we did get married, but it actually, brought us together somehow. So, and that's the result of it. And
Yes,
of course, you saw my daughter too.
He
Mahalo for having us.
He probably played it somewhere and you were dancing it and he went, "Oh my God, she's
No,
heavenly."
that was the very first night that we actually danced it, because as a kumu or potential kumu, part of our training was we actually had to follow our kumu as she was dancing it. So that was our test to see if we were worthy of taking the reins on our own. So I'm glad I passed that test.
Mahalo, mahalo, pu mahalo, rites of passage, as they say. I guess we made our full journey here from up in Ha'ena, coming around to Hanalei and to Kapa'a and Lihue, and Nawiliwili, Koloa, Haupu. Now we're heading from Waimea, and we're going to come to the end of the road there, the famous Barking Sands, No Hili. So let's share that song, No Hili E.
No me
No hili. Mahalo kapolo. Well, this brings our Ho'ike tonight to a close. How about a round of applause for our wonderful musicians, Brother Kapono, Brother Kikai, and also Brother Baron. How about the Ohana that came up to share and dance? Our sister, I'm reading too. Yeah, how about Pua Mohala? You want to come up and Ui? Yeah, Lei Ui gonna come up. How about a round of applause for them? And how about a round of applause for Puai? Oh, I tell you. And mahalo Lucy for joining us. How about Auntie? Auntie Noi Lani. We're gonna close with asking all of them to come and hula for us. And this hula, of course, takes us back to an area, back to Navilivili actually, where the composer lives, you know. And this song that is so synonymous with Auntie Mikey, you know, and how she purveyed this beautiful song, but is of course Kaua'i born and bred. And we're gonna share it with you. And if you know the words, stand up in your place and sing it, or you can dance it if you know it. Okay? Oh, okay, no, I gotta always render my mic to the kupuna. I tell you, okay.
I wanted to just share some information to you about Nohili. So when the boys sang Nohili, as a child, I lived with my parents in Kaua'i, and we used to go down to Nohili. And at one time, Nohili was a whole sloop, you know, down. All the sand was there, and then my brother would pull my legs down, and as he was pulling my legs, the sand would bark, and that was at Nohili. And then, damn it, the service people flattened that whole area out, and there went Nohili. Oh, we were so upset, you know, but we couldn't do anything about it because U.S. government.
Let me preface that with this. No, follow up. I'll go follow up with that. So anyway, yeah, you know, they built that missile base over there because you know why, yeah? You know, the Kim Jong-un, he's supposed to send his missile over here. And so they went go test them out, yeah? Oh, wait, the missile nearly even make with pure, yeah. The missile over there at the Bucking Sands didn't go far. So, you know. I know. It has nothing to do with missiles, unfortunately. God, funny. Well, anyway, we gotta change things. But anyway, enough. Okay. Aloha mokihana. Aloha Kaua'i. But that's the words, yeah? Aloha. Come on, dance.
Aloha mokihana.
Sister Kaua'i. And then a round of applause for Baron, Brother Kekai, and brother over here. Oh, kapono, mahalo nui. Thank you so much for joining us on the celebration of the island of Kaua'i. And I think our next island is going to be Oahune over here. And we hope you come back in May 19. Himeni kako. Hawaiian.